The Air Adventures of Biggles.
Ginger and Ian Ross are placed in a hut controlled by the bullying American Sergeant Malone. Another American member of the International Brigade, bitter and nervy Joe Clutson, starts to tell them about the sergeant, but is interrupted by Malone himself. He takes Ginge to the Commandant's office to be given his first assignment. Ian is frightened as he turns to Vladimir and Clutson.
What does it mean? What is this assignment he'll be given?
Could be anything, pal. They got some dainty surprises in this place.
It is the punishment he earned from the court-martial. You don't think it is the holiday, eh? You'll learn, yes, you'll learn soon. Here, you work.
But what at? That's what nobody will tell us. What is the work of this brigade?
It's anything and everything, son. Providing it's dirty enough for the scum that run it.
Oh, you take no notice of him, Ian. He is a bad man. He is a silly American. You be clever. You do well in the brigade. Then you and Vladimir, we're the good friends. Not a monkey and the keeper like her now, eh?
Clever at what?
I'll tell you, pal. You got buddies fighting in Korea?
Aye, I know a few chaps there.
And you gotta be clever and stab 'em in the back, see? You gotta be clever, see? They don't fight anymore. You do your job right, the yellow ones will run and leave your friends to be cut down by the gooks. If you're clever enough, you'll have 1,000 scalps for your belt. Only they'll be the scalps of your buddies, see?
Oh, no, you don't make no more killing. You stop the killing. Oh, this is a bad war, no?
Why you guys started, huh?
Look, I don't know too much about the Korean War.
Vladimir know plenty. It is a bad war. It can stop if your friends stop the fighting.
But how can I stop them or Ginge? We can't give orders.
Look, if you play along with us, this outfit you'll be given more powerful orders than any general. Only your orders will be rotten. You won't stop all the guys there from fighting. Some of them are too grand ever to stop. But you'll stop a few. And that'll make it so much easier for these communist rats to slaughter the good ones.
You don't talk this way, Clutson. Ian's a good boy. Maybe he work for us without trouble. You make trouble for him, I make trouble for you.
Vladimir, I once thought you had it in you to be a swell guy. Even though you're a Russian. When I first learned how dirty this place was, I tried to talk sense to you. Remember?
Yeah, you talk silly American talk. Vladimir not listen.
Vladimir was too dumb. You're still too dumb. You can't see there's a decent kid here who could be saved before he goes rotten like you.
Have you done this business you're talking about?
I done it, pal. I do it once a week.
But why? If you feel like that about it, why do you do it?
Because I'm yellow, pal. Because I saw my buddy burst to death for trying to escape. Because I felt the whip in my back the first time I said no. And I'm too yellow to face these things. I give in, I do it. But don't let me or Vladimir or anyone stop you into doing it. If you got the guts, die before the gangrene sets in.
Oh, this talk of dying, it is wrong. This work is good work.
You still haven't told me what the work is. How do you make them stop fighting?
Why should I tell you? You'll find out. Vladimir and his friends will tell you. And they'll pump you so full of propaganda at the same time that you'll be sick. And you'll find out just as your pal's finding out right now.
So you see, the war is a bad war. The United Nations soldiers are killing innocent men. Our friends, the North Koreans and Chinese, must fight to save their lives. But they want no more than to stop all this stupid killing.
Haven't you heard of the peace conference at Panmunjom, Commandant? Why don't your friends stop the fighting at that?
Peace conference? Such talk will go on forever. We stop it quicker than that, and you will help us.
It's not my affair.
Oh, you're wasting your time with a pep talk, Commandant. Give him an order. I'll see he carries it out.
Oh, he will carry it out, Sergeant. But it is our policy to make them do the work willingly. Because they know we're right. Only if they do not come to our side do we use the force.
He'll never come over, Commandant. I know these stiff-necked limeys. Besides, he's a special case. He's being punished. There's only one way to make him work for you.
Well, I shall let him answer first. Well, Englishman, incidentally, what part of England you come from, huh? Oh, no matter. It's all the same as English. Tell me, do you agree to work willingly for us?
How can I tell when I don't know what the work is?
Here is a document. Read it. No, read it out loud to me so I can hear you. And read it as though you mean it.
I am an Englishman. I'm talking to all Englishmen fighting with the British Commonwealth Division in Korea. Before I say anything else, I want to tell you I'm doing this of my own free will. I asked the North Korean authorities to let me talk to you and tell you what I've seen. What is this? I haven't seen it.
Read on. Go ahead, read it. Out loud now.
I've just been through the prisoner of war camps up here, and I've spoken to your friends. They all asked me to put messages over for them. And the messages are all the same. They're being treated wonderfully well up here. Good food, comfortable quarters, plenty of sport and amusement. The communists are being really kind to them. They say you're not to worry about them because they're much happier than when they were out there fighting this senseless war. Every one of them, your friends, asked me to say this. Give up the fight yourselves. Take it easy up here. Next time there's an attack, throw down your arms and come across to this side. What's this to do with me?
You will broadcast that over the radio to the soldiers of the United Nations.
Broadcast this? Me? Oh, don't be funny, mister.
Let me show him how funny we are, Commandant.
I haven't seen any prisoners of war, and if I did, I bet they wouldn't tell me that. This is just a pack of filthy lies.
That is not your concern. Your task is to broadcast the material we give you.
You can jump in the nearest lake.
That settles it. Will I take him over?
Not yet, Malone. Hebblethwaite, when you arrived here, you saw a man being flogged, did you not?
Yes.
He had refused to broadcast.
Well, that doesn't worry me.
It will. By the time I've finished with you, pal, I know how to use a whip.
Malone, please leave me to handle this. I'm pleased with your work, but you're not clever in matters like this. Now, of the two men, I should say Ross is the weaker than Hebblethwaite.
Well, so what?
So he will be the one to be flogged.
No.
It will ensure that he obeys when his time comes to broadcast. And it may persuade this fool to obey. I tell you something, I have observed the English. They will stand hard to themselves, oh yes, but not to their friends.
Not Ian.
Do you agree to broadcast that message?
No, of course not, but...
Return to your hut. In 2 hours the flogging will take place. You will have until then to change your mind.
I don't know if I can take it, Ginge. Not a flogging.
I'm sorry, Ian. I'd do anything to get you out of it.
He's your friend now.
Of course he is.
Then it is easy. You read the broadcast like they say.
Is there nothing else he can do, Vladimir?
No. It is right for him to read the message. When it's not the flog, that is right too. But it is silly for you to have the flogging if you don't need it.
I wonder if they'd let me do the broadcast.
You're not going to broadcast for them, not ever. Get that straight.
That'd be better than this.
And better than dying now. You can get the flog you once, twice, 3 times. But if you still don't broadcast, they kill you. Maybe Vladimir have to kill you himself.
Ginge, there's nothing else we can do. If Biggles would come...
Shut up.
Well, there are only the two of us, so we can't fight back. I think I could face being killed, but to be flogged...
Keep quiet about it, can't you? It's going to be hard enough to face without you bleating about it before it starts.
Of course you talk about it. Flogging it hurts. With Sergeant Malone, maybe the whip draw blood.
Don't!
Oh, that is what Vladimir liked to see. But it is Ginger who decide if it happened to you.
You can both stop talking about it. I've made my decision.
You'll read it, Ginge?
No, I don't care what they do to me or you. I can't broadcast that message.
Ross, Sergeant Malone has his whip ready for the first blow. Perhaps you would like to ask your friend to change his mind.
Oh, Ginge. Ginge, won't you do what they want? Ginge, please.
Oh, do not give up hope, Ross. He will open his mouth in a moment. The first stroke, Malone.
Sure, Commandant. With pleasure.
Well, Englishman, do you wish this to go on? You know you can stop it at once.
No, Ginge. There's no need to. I cried out, but I was wrong. I'm going to take it. You sit tight. I'll take everything I can give.
Again. And again.
No, stop.
Oh, what a pity.
You have changed your mind?
Cut him down. I'll broadcast for you.
Ginger's face is white and strained as Ian is cut from the triangle. Will he go through with the broadcast? Can Biggles reach Klatzen in time to save his friends? Don't miss the excitement in the next chapter of The Air Adventures of Biggles.
The Air Adventures of Biggles.
Even though Biggles has started on his long flight to Korea, he may be too late to help Ginger and Ian Ross. Ginger has been ordered to broadcast a lying message to United Nations troops, urging them to lay down their arms. When he refuses, the commandant of the International Brigade has Ian Ross flogged in an effort to make Ginge change his mind. Ian shows spirit, but the spectacle is too much for his friend. After the second stroke of the whip, Ginge calls out,
Stop! I'll broadcast for you.
Say, you couldn't wait a few more minutes, could you? I'm just getting into my stride with this whip.
Oh, Ginge, don't do this. I can take it. I thought I couldn't, but now it's happening. I can face up to it. Honestly, I can.
You might take 2 or 3 more strokes, Ian, but that's all. I can't let it go on.
Oh, you are wise, Hebel Tweed. I thought we could make you see reason.
Ginge, you mustn't give way. Not for me. This is my chance to stand by you. Don't you see that? I haven't often been brave on this trip, but I can be now. I know I can.
That's foolish heroics, Ian. There's no need for it. You can cut him down, Malone.
I'll take my orders from the Commandant. Thanks, pal. You reckon he's on the level?
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yes, he will be more than wise if he is not. You definitely agree to broadcast this message, Hebel Tweed?
I'll broadcast for you, but not that message.
There you are. He's just being smart.
If you're wasting my time...
I'm not. If you'll let me do what I want, it'll help you. I can give you a much better message to broadcast than that one.
He changes his mind awful fast, this guy.
What are you talking about, Ginge? Don't do this for me.
Tell me, why should you help us? You will not pretend that you are coming over to our side.
It's quite logical. I don't want to work for you, but if I don't, it's obvious that both Ian and I are going to land hiding after hiding. According to Vladimir, we may even be killed.
That is correct. If you insist on disobedience...
I shan't disobey. So if I must work for you, I'd just as soon do it properly. In other words, I'd rather land a decent job in the brigade like Malone than end up a broken wreck like Joe Clutson.
Say, maybe the guy has something there.
Yes, it is enough to catch my interest. Hepplethwaite, I reward those who work willingly for me, as I have rewarded Sergeant Malone.
I was hoping you might think that way.
Ginge, what are you doing?
Talking sense. You keep out of it.
Yes, you cut him down and take him back to the hut, Malone. Hepplethwaite and I will discuss this in my office. I do not wish him to be influenced by a rock. You say you can suggest a better message than that I gave you. What is your suggestion?
That I come right out in the open. Instead of saying just, I'm an Englishman, wouldn't it be better to say, I'm Ginger Hepplethwaite, formerly of the English Air Police?
Oh, yes, of course. If you will say that, it will carry much more conviction.
That's what I was thinking. I could even go on to say that I originally came behind the Iron Curtain as a spy. But now that I've seen what it's like, I've decided to broadcast for you and pass on the information to other Englishmen.
Well, yes, that's very good. I like that very much indeed, yes. I see you have imagination, Hepplethwaite. It is not often we have those working for us with imagination. No, I like that.
Well, that's the general idea, anyway. I'll need an hour or so to work it out in detail, of course. Is that all right with you?
Oh, but of course you may have whatever time you wish. Yes, this will be the most effective broadcast we have yet made from Kratzen. You will do great work for communism, Hepplethwaite. Nothing must spoil your work.
I hope you're proud of yourself. It was for you I tried to be brave on that triangle. Now you swing round and say you'll do anything they want. You'll even help them by identifying yourself in the broadcast. You couldn't crawl much lower than that.
I have to work out the broadcast, Ian. Would you mind being quiet for a while?
You say another word, Vladimir is hanging a punch on your dial, as they say in the peculiar American films. Ginger, he said that we are right. Now he is one of us.
Oh, for Pete's sake, shut up, Vladimir.
What? I try to help. I am of the shutting up of Ian for you. Ha 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 ha. Now we are the great friends, no? Ginger and Vladimir?
We are the great friends. No. Now get up to the other end of that hut where you won't be tempted to open your big mouth. I must have quiet.
But I am told not to leave you.
You'll still see us from there, won't you? You can still shoot from 30 feet away if I try to blow the place up. Now run away and leave me alone. The Commandant won't like it if this isn't done.
Oh, Vladimir, he tried to help. Vladimir tried to be the great big friend, and he gave me the rush. It's like these sentimental American films. I get the big rush. They call it the bomb rush or something. I don't know.
Perhaps I'd better go too. You won't want me around now that you've changed your coat.
No, you stay. Why do you think I pushed Vladimir off?
You mean...
I wanted a chance to explain my idea.
Oh, Ginge. And here was I thinking you'd thrown in the towel.
Don't be silly. If I can get out of it, I'm not going to make this broadcast.
You're not?
No, but I may have to. I didn't have much of a plan when I stopped the flogging, but I thought it was silly to let it go on. So I jumped in and then nutted out this idea as the Commandant and Malone were talking.
What is it?
A pretty weak one, but it'll do until I can think of something better. Only if I have to, I'll broadcast as myself in the hope that Biggles will hear about it. It may help to guide him to us.
Ginge, that's a wonderful idea.
No, it isn't. To get away with it, I'll have to put over big slabs of propaganda at the same time. And I hate the thought of that.
Yes, but if it'll get word to Biggles...
It may. However, it'll do as a last resort. Now start thinking, Ian. We have to concoct a message that will keep these commos happy and yet give Biggles as much information as possible.
Mind if I land upper barges into the cockpit, Biggles?
Oh, delighted to see you, Gimlet. I've been bored stiff here alone. Those blighters of mine have become lazy now we're in the tropics.
Cabin looks like a dormitory. Sleeping bodies everywhere. I've been thinking about the stunt, Biggles. Have you decided how you're going to reconnoiter this place, Cratson?
Not in detail. I suppose we'll do an aerial recce. That's the usual drill.
In Manchuria? We're less likely to pick up information than to be shot down by the Russian MiGs. Those nifty jets of theirs.
Yes, that's right. Touchy about the Manchurian border, aren't they?
And besides which, a big cut like this is too easily spotted from the land. That may give our game away.
What have you in mind, then?
A land recce, a Chinaman. You could wander where he liked without arousing suspicion. Might even see Ginge, be able to bring us back all the information we need for the raid.
That's a sound scheme, Gimlet. But where do we find our Chinaman?
We're putting down at Hong Kong, aren't we?
Yes, we'll be there tonight.
Then I'll introduce you to an old friend of mine, one Ling. Just the boy to make contact with Ginger.
I thought you'd have a bigger broadcasting station than this, Vladimir.
Oh, it is big enough. The power is in the equipment, not in the building. From here you will broadcast to all of Korea, huh?
I wonder if I hadn't better put it off for tonight. I'm still not happy about this message. You know, it could be better.
The commandant, he said the message is good, yes. You come. You don't change your mind again. It is Vladimir Protopopov, Kim.
And the new broadcaster? They say new broadcaster tonight.
Maybe you let Vladimir broadcast, no? That would be the goods, like they say in the...
I know, like the sentimental American films.
Yeah.
Well, let's get this over.
This is Kim Ho-lee. He is from North Korea, but he's a good engineer. It is Kim who send out the words from here.
By the way, this is the control room, is it? You've quite a bit of equipment here, Kim.
Yes. Equipment good. Control and transmit all from here. Kim do all.
A one-man show. Where's the studio?
It is through the door. You see it past the glass. In there he speaking words into the microphone. And from here, Kim turns the knobs and he wiggles the switch. So your husband's all the gear and Ginger is heard all over Korea.
Oh, I see. How do you get on for equipment, Kim? Keep plenty of spare parts?
No. Spare parts come from Russia.
Oh.
Take long time. But Kim very good with equipment. He keep it good.
It'd make an awful mess if anything broke down, wouldn't it?
Nothing break down. Kim keep it good.
But sometimes you may have no say. Vladimir, I'm not going to make this broadcast.
What did you say?
You heard. I'm not going to broadcast, and you can't make me.
Oh, yes, Vladimir make you. You see this gun? You go into the studio and broadcast, or I shoot you with it.
Yes, I see it. And you see this hand? The hard heel of it that hurts?
I see.
Well, feel it crack on your wrist.
Kim, the gun!
Oh, no, you don't. Afraid I've got the gun. Now stand back, both of you. Sorry to crack your wrist like that, Vladimir, but I had to get the gun somehow.
You're a fool. What do you think you do, eh?
I think I'll do a lot of damage. I hope your spare parts don't take too long to come from Russia, Kim. When I've drilled your equipment full of holes, you're going to need them very badly. Ginger takes steady aim at the vital parts of the broadcasting equipment and proceeds to shoot it out of commission. He may ruin the equipment, but what will happen to him? Don't miss the thrills in the next chapter of The Air Adventures of Biggles.
The Air Adventures of Biggles.
When the time comes for Ginger's broadcast, Vladimir takes him to the radio station, a small building packed with valuable equipment. The sight of it gives Ginger an idea, and by a trick, he gains possession of Vladimir's gun. Immediately, he turns it on the equipment and opens fire.
No! You break equipment Kim cannot use!
That's the general idea, Kim. I'd like to wreck the stuff so that you could never use it again. At least I'll put you off the air until you can get replacements.
For this you will suffer.
Okay, Vladimir, okay. Now, allowing a bullet each for you blokes, that leaves one more I can use. I wonder where it'll do most damage.
You don't use it. Not nowhere.
Look out, you fool!
You shoot too late. Now I hold you. Kim, the gun, take it from his hand.
No, you're not getting it.
The gun. Good. Keep it pointed to him. Shoot if he's making trouble, eh?
It's all right. There won't be any trouble now. I've done what I wanted to do.
You play the trick on Vladimir, no? You make Vladimir the stupid fool, eh?
I helped a bit, that's all.
For that, will make you sorry.
Why, you big swine!
The gun, watch him, Kim.
It's you I'm interested in, not the gun. If you want to fight...
If he tries to hit, shoot.
Kim, watch for hitting Vladimir. Kim shoots.
Good. Now Vladimir can do the hitting. Oh, make you sorry you make fool of me. I tried to be good friend, but you don't let me. You say you work for us, then you try the trick. You may get your feet, worm. Vladimir is finished for now.
One day I'll pay you back for this hiding, Vladimir. When there's no Kim standing by with a gun.
The worm still wants to fight. You said that to Sergeant Malone when you go back to the camp. When he finished with you, and when Commandant finished with you, there'll be no worm left to fight.
If there is, the worm will fight.
Oh, now why do you do this, Ginger? We're so happy. We're friends.
Now you can't send your filthy broadcast over Korea. At least not till Kim replaces those parts.
You take much time. You do great damage.
I hope so. Well, take me back to the camp, Vladimir. I've no doubt I'll land a flogging out of this, but it'll be worth it to see the Commandant's face when you tell him there'll be no more of his filthy lies broadcast for a while. And what's so funny about that?
Soon you learn. It is a gag, like they say in these funny American films. You think you stop the broadcasts. Maybe you get a big surprise when you see the Commandant. Yes, the little worm will get a big surprise.
Wang Ling, this is my friend, Inspector Bigglesworth of Scotland Yard. Biggles, I'd like you to meet Wang Ling.
This is an honor, Mr. Wang.
The honor is mine, Inspector. To be visited by Captain King and his friend is indeed a great honor to humble Chinese.
I'd have called on you anyway, Wang, as we were passing through Hong Kong. But this isn't merely a social visit, you know.
To me, it is a great occasion. You will permit me to savor it?
Wang's the politest man I know, Biggles. But don't let it deceive you. He can hop into action very smartly if it's necessary. But even when the heat's on, he stays polite.
Is not life a happier experience when we enjoy it with kindness and courtesy?
I wish everyone felt that way, Mr. Wang. Unfortunately, there are too many people and countries who prefer to use methods of ruthlessness and brutality.
Yes. And it is that which brings so much sadness to the world. In my own country, my beloved China, I have seen much of this ruthlessness and brutality. That is why I am an exile here in Hong Kong.
We've come to see you about that. Captain King tells me you've no love for the communists who've taken over your country.
Would you have love for those people who have brought great unhappiness to your people?
We're on our way to an operation in China, Wang.
Against the communists?
To a degree, yes.
If we're going to trust Mr. Wang Ling, we might as well tell him the full story, Gimlet. We'll confuse him if we try to hedge round it.
We can trust him.
Then this is the situation. We're not involved in any fight against the Chinese government. That's none of our business. But up in Manchuria, there's a camp of men who've been persuaded to desert from United Nations armies, including a few British. These men are being used to broadcast lying propaganda to the soldiers fighting in Korea.
That is bad, Inspector. These are strange, modern methods of fighting.
Yes, they can be dangerous methods. That's why we've been sent to wipe out this broadcasting system, and at the same time rescue any of the men who wish to come home.
I am deeply honored that you should tell me this. Inspector, I shall respect your confidence.
We aren't simply letting you into a secret, Wang. We want you to help us.
Of course. If there is any way I can be of assistance to you, I shall be delighted to help. But surely there is little I can do.
We need someone, preferably Chinese, to slip into Manchuria and bring back information about Kratzen. That's the headquarters of this broadcasting unit.
And you wish me? You wish me to be this man?
I know what you're like on a job like this, Wang. I recommended you for it.
You are most kind, Captain King.
Of course it'll be a most dangerous operation.
I am not unused to danger.
Then you'll do it?
It will give me pleasure to work in a small degree against those who have taken happiness for my country. It will give me even more pleasure to be of service to my friend, Captain King. I shall be honored to assist you.
Good man, Wang. I knew you'd agree.
Now, gentlemen, must we talk further of unpleasant matters? I should like you to join me at tea.
Hello, Algy. I'm glad you came forward.
I saw land coming up. Is that Korea?
Well, if it isn't, my navigation's rusty. We should be putting down at Pusan in about half an hour.
And then the heat'll be on, eh?
Well, not immediately. We'll have to liaise with the United Nations blokes here, get ourselves bedded down and find out the lay of the land before we do anything else. Pat's been in radio contact with them, and apparently an Australian Flight Louis is waiting to look after us.
That's good. They know all about us then.
Raymond sent word that we were coming, but I doubt if they'll know more than that we are on a special mission.
It's special, all right. There's nothing so important to me at the moment as getting Ginge away from those swine.
That's how we all feel. How's everything aft? They all ready to disembark?
Yes, they're right. Bertie's having the fun of his life, kayaking Gimlet's blokes.
Pulling their legs, is he?
Yes. He had young Cub Peters with a parachute on just now.
Good grief, why?
He said he noticed a miss in one of the motors. He told Cub we'd have to bail out within a few minutes.
And Cub fell for it?
Completely. Until Copper Coulson threw a banana skin and caught Bertie in the eye. They all thought it suited him better than his monocle.
They're a grand team, Algy. It's good to have them with us again.
My word. I only hope they're good enough to help us pull off this job.
We'll pull it off. Now, cut out the talk for a while. I'm going to put on the phones and see if I can pick up control at Pusan.
I say, old trout, this isn't really too blinking bad, what? I mean to say, I thought we'd be sleeping in the belly snow in Korea. And here we are with the stretchers and a jolly old heated hut. And even our own private radio to keep us happy.
This is Pusan, Bertie. We're a good deal south of fighting, remember? Jamison said they've always lived in reasonable comfort here.
Yeah, it's not a bad bloke, this young Aussie Flight Louis, you know. Must say I like the way he's busting to get back into the stoush.
Didn't you feel that way about administrative work when you were an operational pilot? Good grief, these blokes are making a row down there. I say, break it down a bit. We can't hear ourselves talk.
Oh, you can save your breath, old bean. Those sausages of Gimlets are so blinking glad to be safely on land, they won't stop chortling for another week. At any rate, Algy's making as much bally row with that radio. Can't you find something more soothing, old bean? That doesn't exactly blend with old Copper's voice.
I'll see what I can find for you.
Now, when do we press the old noses to the grindstone, Biggles? This life's comfortable enough, but I fear it'd irk somewhat if we had too much of it. I mean to say, there is the thought of old Ginge to spur us on, what?
I don't need spurring on, Bertie. We'll rest tonight while the kite's being serviced, and then tomorrow morning...
Biggles, come here a minute, will you? There's something on the radio I want you to hear.
What is it, old trout? Something good?
Something really good. It's Ginger, and he's broadcasting for the communists.
Ginger's scheme failed. Despite his efforts, he is being forced to broadcast for his enemies. What is happening north of the Manchurian border? Will Ginger's broadcast help Biggles? The excitement will mount in the next chapter of The Air Adventures of Biggles.
The Air Adventures of Biggles.
Excitement runs high amongst Biggles' air police and Gimlet King's commandos as Biggles puts down the big Scorpion flying bird on Pusan Harbor. At last they're in Korea and within hitting distance of the International Brigade. They feel that at last they will make contact with Ginger again. They don't know how soon that contact will come. As the men relax in the big airman's hut that's been allotted to them, Algy tunes in the small radio near his stretcher. Suddenly he gives a start and calls to Biggles and Bertie.
It's Ginger. He's broadcasting for the communists.
Are you sure? Why, say, that won't do. I mean to say, there must be some bally mistake. That isn't old Ginger's form, what?
It's his voice. Besides, he identified himself. He said, "This is Ginger Hebblethwaite, formerly of the English Air Police."
Sizzling sausages. I didn't think I'd ever see the blinking day when...
Is it still going? Should be. He started spouting some guff to the British troops. Sounded as if he'd been at it for some time.
I want to hear this. Cut out the noise up there, will you? We want to listen to the radio.
Blimey, what do you know? Old Biggles is a swing fan.
This is serious. For Pete's sake, stow it.
Oh, cut it out, fellas. Biggles is onto something.
Besides the thought of getting home quicker, think about the men up north here. The fellows you're fighting against. I know them and I can tell you they're good men. What's more, they don't feel bitter about you. They know you've been misled, and they'd like to be your friends. You can be sure that if anyone who comes across with his hands up mentions this broadcast, he'll be treated as a
Don't
friend.
jump to conclusions, Bertie. It doesn't sound
Arrangements
well
have
to
been
me.
made to welcome you and to give you good quarters and comfortable
Neither
positions.
the old trout does.
Shh. All those of us who understand about this want you to join us. Then you can stay with us in comfort until it's safe for us to return home again.
That's my message. It's entirely up to you now to stop this stupid war. And I know you'll do it. Remember, my name is Ginger Hebblethwaite. I used to be a member of the English Air Police. Now I'm working for the North Koreans because I know they're right. Happy now, Vladimir? I've made your confounded broadcast for you.
Oh, you don't make him too good. Maybe the commandant not too pleased about that.
Then the commandant can darn well put me up against a wall and shoot me. I told him I'd rather have that.
Oh, but you're so foolish. You don't like to have the shooting of young Ross?
No. He licked me when he threatened to execute Ian.
This licking you, is it a word from these stupid American films? No?
He beat me.
He beat you too much all the time. Oh, it is so funny the way you think you don't broadcast no more when you shoot at the station near Kratzen.
You didn't think it funny at the time.
Oh, I think it very funny when the commandant puts you in this mobile station. Now with the radio station on this small truck, you'll drive all around Korea and broadcast whenever Vladimir say. It's very good this way.
You want to watch out I don't put a bomb under the truck.
You don't do nothing like that. Next time you make the broadcast, you make it like you mean it. You don't do that, maybe Vladimir put the bomb on you.
Well, you all know our liaison officer, Flight Lieutenant Jamison of the RWF, don't you?
Oh, yes.
Well, now, Jamison, can you tell us what you found out for us?
Well, the first thing you wanted to know was about that broadcasting station, the one that pumps out the propaganda.
Have you traced the bally thing?
Well, I told the inspector last night that we'd traced it some time ago. Or rather, we thought we had.
Oh, I say, old boy. What do you mean by that?
Oh, simply that the station you heard last night was broadcasting from a different place.
Well, baked potatoes. Why should that be?
Don't ask me. We've been getting these broadcasts for some time. See, a long time ago, the signals blokes traced them as coming from near Kratzen.
That's right. That ties in with our information.
Well, just a minute, old chap. If you knew where these broadcasts were coming from, why didn't you do something about it?
Because the broadcasts were coming from China, north of the Korean border, and we're not at war with China.
What about the one we heard last night?
That's the first of this type that's come from inside Korea. I couldn't get accurate information about it, but as far as we can tell, it came from somewhere about 100 miles north of Pyongyang.
That's the North Korean capital, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right, miss.
Are you going to do anything about this new position?
Yeah, my word. Our blokes of the 77 Squadron have been sent out to find the transmitter. And if they find it, believe you me, it'll be blasted from the face of the earth in 2 ups.
No, they must...
Sizzling sausages. Oh, Ginger's there.
Jamison, is it possible to recall those planes? A friend of ours, one of my agents, was broadcasting last night.
I'm afraid it's too late to do anything now, Inspector. Those kites would be well over North Korea by now. Your mate might be in a mess.
Well, don't let's jump to conclusions about this. You admitted that you haven't accurate information about this station.
That's right. Yeah, they didn't do a complete check last night. They're going to swing one on tonight.
Then your planes probably won't find it. If they don't, you'll have to make sure they're not sent out tomorrow.
No, don't you worry. I'll stop that.
You better get word to 77 Squadron right away. Just give me the rest of your information and then you can shoot through.
Righto. You wanted to know about a decent harbour near Kratzen where you could land your flying boat, right?
Yes.
Well, now, I've marked 2 on this map here for you. This one to the east near the Yellow River. That's the only one I could get first-hand information about. Spoke to a Yank who put down there only a couple of weeks ago.
I say, look here, was he seen landing there?
As far as he knows, he wasn't, no. He put down to make some repairs to his engine and took off again as soon as he could.
What's it like as a landing area?
Very good, he said, providing it isn't iced up. You see, this other bay, 20 miles to the west, that's further away from Kratzen, and he only saw it by air, but he said it looked all right.
Well, I'll keep the map if you don't mind. I'm very grateful to you, Mr. Jamison. Now, would you mind seeing to that instruction?
Yes, I'll chase it up for you right away. I'll see you later, folks.
Now, start thinking, everyone. I want a plan we can put into operation tonight.
Turn round, Biggles. Tell me how I look.
Pat! What on earth? Those clothes!
You think I make very good Korean lady?
Pat, I told you back in Pusan that I wouldn't agree to that nonsense. I'm going into Kratzen with Wong Ling.
You also became very angry with me in Busan and called me a pig-headed female. You were right. I'm going into the camp with Wang Ling.
Now, look here.
No, you look here. Or rather, watch your flying. We can't be far from Manchurian border. You're going to put Wang Ling ashore so that he can make his way to the camp at Kratzen and spy out the land for us. Right?
Yes, but...
And we all agreed that someone would have to go with him in case of accidents.
I'm going myself. You can watch the plane while Bertie ferries us ashore in the dinghy.
If you went, Biggles, and anything happened to you, it'd wreck the operation.
Nonsense. There's Gimlet King back at Pusan and Alger. Either of them could take over.
Neither of them is Biggles. And we also agreed, excepting you, that a woman traveling with Wang Ling would be less likely to arouse suspicion than a man. Besides, nothing could ever make you look like a Korean. But I'm dark and I have an olive skin. With a dirty face and these Korean clothes, I could easily pass as a coolie's wife.
Yes, you look the part quite well.
And you agree. I knew you would.
Well, I'll think about it when we land. Now, pipe down for a while, Pat. The coastline's coming up. I'm going to drop height.
You don't think it'll be dangerous flying straight to the harbour like this?
Oh, it should be safe enough. I spoke to the Yank who put down there, and he said the coast seemed deserted in this area. A desolate, marshy sort of place.
I hope so. But this big kite makes so much noise,
That looks like the harbour directly ahead. I'll circle it first to make sure. Check it against the map, will you, Pat?
Roger. Biggles!
Searchlights! Good grief!
There's someone there. Lift her, quickly, lift
You
her!
can't lift a big kite like this quickly, Pat. Holy smoke!
It was an XX shell.
There's a gun by that light. And it'll be minutes before we're out of range. At this height, we're a perfect target.
Then
I don't see how this gunner can miss.
Grimly, Biggles pulls back on the column in an effort to lift the huge kite out of range. But he knows he can't do it in time. How can he escape the deadly fire of the anti-aircraft gun? The excitement will mount in the next thrilling chapter of The Air Adventures of Biggles.
The Air Adventures of Biggles.
It is well after dark as the huge Scorpion flying boat roars over Korea Bay, that bleak stretch of water between North Korea and Manchuria. Biggles is aware of the danger of his enterprise. Manchuria is outside the Korean War zone, and any British plane seen flying over this area will meet short shrift. The big plane drops low over the harbour on which Biggles intends to land. The coastline looks as desolate and unfriendly as the Black Sea. Lower drops the plane as Biggles plots his landing. Then there is a blinding light as the Scorpion is caught in the full glare of a searchlight. At once, Biggles reaches for the control column, but the nose of the plane is scarcely lifted when the machine shudders at the crump of an anti-aircraft shell.
Lift her, Biggles, we're too low.
I can't lift her fast enough to dodge that Ekak gun, Cat.
You must. At this height, we'll be blown to pieces.
If that gunner knows his job, we will be. He isn't on his target yet.
It won't take him long. Pull back harder, Biggles.
This plane won't climb fast. It's too heavy.
There's nothing else we can do.
I can go. There is.
What are you going to do, Biggles? Don't level out.
I'm doing more than that. I'm going to dive.
That'll finish us. We'll be an easier target than ever.
I've yet to see the Ekak gun that can shoot through a cliff, Pat.
I don't understand.
The gun is about a mile inland. It's on a hill. But I don't think the hill's as high as that cliff to the north of the harbour.
I still don't see what you mean.
I'm shooting down till we are below the level of that cliff. Then it'll be between the gun and us. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes, now I see. Can we make it in time?
Don't know yet. But we are diving faster than we were climbing. So I'm hoping.
Biggles, I think the gun stopped firing.
We may be below his arc of fire. Some Ekak guns can't fire horizontally.
I hope that's it.
Hold on, Pat. I'm going to straighten out. The old bus is so heavy we are liable to go into the drink.
We might, Biggles. We'll be only a few feet from the surface.
There. We're right.
Only just. It's so dark down near the water. I don't know how you judged it.
Instinct. It isn't the first time I've relied on it to get me out of a spot.
I say, old chap, what is all this bally nonsense? You're trying to frighten the fishes, what? I mean to say, it isn't normal to scud along an inch above the surface, not according to my textbook.
We're dodging an anti-aircraft gun, Bertie.
By going down? Ulysses always have a distinct inclination to join the jolly old birdies when there's flak about.
We were too low when it opened fire. I might have climbed a fighter out of range, but not this big 4-engine job. We gave it up and dived for the cover of a cliff.
Oh, well, look here, you will keep the old kite out of the water, won't you? I mean to say, it looks awfully wet out there, and cold.
I think we might try the surface after a while.
Is there any point in taxiing? We seem to be doing very well as we are.
I'm not going to taxi here. We'll fly low till we are well out of range and then climb again. But I'll put down when we hit back to the coast.
You're not going back, Biggles. Not with that gun waiting.
Sizzling sausages, old bean, don't do that. We Ulysses positively detest the feeling of ack-ack shells whizzing through our tummy.
I'm going to try the second bay. Remember the layout Jamison gave us in Pusan?
Oh, by Jove, yes. Yes, there was this harbour near the mouth of the Yalu River where the Yank had put down, and then another spot of nonsense about 20 miles west.
That's right. The second bay is marked on the map. The American pilot must have been seen when he landed after all. That's why the ack-ack gun and the searchlight were set up. But no one has landed on the second bay, so there's no reason why that should be defended.
Oh, there speaks the most frightful bally lot of hope.
You want to find out about Kratzen, don't you, Bertie?
Oh, baked potatoes, yes. I mean to say, that's about the only way we'll ever pull old Ginge out of the stew.
Then we'll try that second bay and risk it being defended. It should be safe for us to lift the old bus now.
That's the bay, Biggles. The inlet ahead of us.
Thanks, Pat. I'll head straight for it.
Oh, about time we found the bally thing. Those motors must be blinking hot after all this taxiing.
I've been alternating the donks to give them a chance to cool. They'll make the distance.
After our last experience, we didn't dare fly in, Bertie. Suppose there's a gun in there, too.
Oh, you suppose it, old darling. We Ulysses hate to consider the bally possibility.
Even these two motors are making the dickens of a noise. I better cut them.
How will we cover the distance without power?
There's a swell running directly inshore. We're heading for the mouth of the bay, so we'll drift in with the water.
I say, I wonder would the old Lord and Master consider a suggestion from the Lissy tribe?
Providing it isn't inane, yes.
Consider yourself hit with a dollop of the Lissy ignore for that remark. Now look here, why not anchor the kite outside the bay and burble inside by dinghy? Then if there is a gun waiting to pop us off, we're less likely to ooze into trouble.
That's a good idea. They may not see the dinghy. They couldn't miss this big kite.
Yes, but if they do see us, we'll be away from the machine. We'll lose the chance of a quick getaway.
No, we needn't all go in the dinghy, old bean. I mean to say, one sausage, and preferably you, can stay aboard ready to positively leap into action in case of emergency. Quite a whiff of brilliance about that suggestion, what?
It's sound. Yes, we'll do that.
We're close enough now, aren't we?
Quite. Stand by the anchor, Bertie. And Pat, you and Wang Ling can be ready with the dinghy.
You're going to let me do the recce with Wang Ling?
You've done such a good job of making yourself look like a Korean woman, it'll be a pity to waste it. Besides which, I may be needed here with the kite. Now hop it. We don't know what's waiting for us inside that bay.
Nobody's thrown an atom bomb at us yet. Can't be anyone here.
I wouldn't rely on it, Bertie. As soon as we're ashore, you'd better go back to the kite.
Oh, absolutely. We Ulysses are friendly souls. We'd go balmy if we stayed alone here for days on end. Any idea when you'll be back, Wang?
I cannot tell, Bertie. Perhaps 2, perhaps 3 days. There are many miles of different country for us to cross before we reach Kratzen.
Oh, well, look here. Make it as snappy as you can, old trout. We'll give you 3 days before coming to look for you.
We'll try to be back before then. When we do come, we'll wait till nightfall and signal you by torch from the western headland.
If we aren't already in the bay. We'll burble in tomorrow if we find it safe. Well, toodle pip, old darling. Look after yourself, won't you?
It will be my honor to look after Miss Kendall for you.
Well, I'll pull your belly pigtail if you don't, Wang. Oh, good luck. And don't forget to bring back old Ginge and Ian Ross if you find them.
Ross. Mind if I sit beside you?
Oh, it's the mess hut. You can sit where you like.
Okay, pal. Don't bite at me. I didn't tread on your toe.
I'm sorry, Clutson. I'm just worried about Ginge.
Well, he's alive. As much as you can ask here at Cratson.
He's in north of Korea, broadcasting for the swine. And he's doing it to save me being killed.
Now forget it, pal. You got more important things to talk about. Tonight there's gonna be a break.
Is there?
Well, don't sound so happy about it.
I couldn't care less.
Say, you crazy? We're all gonna be in on this. All except the guys who are gonna over the communists.
Well, you can leave me out, too. I couldn't escape, not with Ginger away. He'll be expecting me to be here when he comes back from Korea. No, you go ahead and forget about me.
I know, pal. I know. I told you now. There won't be any forgetting. Everybody who knows about this escape's gonna be in it, pal.
Oh, now listen, Clutson. You needn't worry about me blagging to the commandant. I wish you luck. I wish you all the luck in the world, but I'm afraid I won't be coming with you.
Now listen, Ross, we're taking no chances. I told you now. You gotta come, you see?
Clutson, I tell you, I will not
I'm telling you, Ross. Tonight there's gonna be an escape, see? Whether you like it or not, you're gonna be right in the thick of it, Ross.
I must just have one small look. Yes, it looks a dreadful place. I wonder where they're sleeping. Well, we'll not discover that till the morning. I suggest we move into the village pad and rest there for the remainder of the night.
Very well. Wang, what are those men doing by the sentry hut?
They appear to be soldiers. And they are setting up a machine gun?
Yes. That's it. But they're doing it surreptitiously, as if they don't want to be seen.
It does look like that, Pat, the way they are moving. Now, why? Why should the soldiers behave like that? They have nothing to fear?
Look. There's what they're frightened of. Further along the wire.
Yes.
There are men crawling through it.
Yes. And surely those are the prisoners. Pat, they are escaping.
They're trying to. But they won't make it. The soldiers of sin.
Mercilessly, the machine gun mows down the prisoners who are attempting to escape. Will Ian Ross escape this deadly fire? What will happen to Pat and Wang Ling in the enemy's stronghold? Don't miss the next thrilling chapter of The Air Adventures of Biggles.